Peace. Once again, it's God time. Today I'd like to discuss April 8th, 2024, what's come to be known as the day of the solar eclipse. You have a lot of people doing a lot of talking based on speculation of what's going to take place and what's going to happen on this date. No one can say definitively anything supernatural is going to happen. Some people are saying it's going to be 3 days of darkness. Others are saying it's going to be an earthquake. These are all things that the Lord controls. So we will see if these are the things that the Lord intends to do. On the flip side, this may be the opportune time for man to do what they do in their evil. Could this be the time that they take advantage of to tamper with the grid? Could this be the time where they mandate martial law throughout the entire United States? Time will tell, and time will reveal all things. But one thing for sure that we do know is that the Creator controls the circuits of the sun and the moon. In the beginning in Genesis, it tells you that the two greater lights, the sun and the moon, were put in the heavens for lights and for signs and for seasons. Then we read of different accounts where God showed his power in regards to the sun and the moon. We have the time of Moses with the 3 days of darkness, and there was light in Goshen, but it was dark throughout the land of Egypt, so dark that you can feel it. Then we read about the time of Joshua, where God made the sun and the moon stand still for the course of 1 day. And we read about how during the time of the crucifixion, while the king was on the cross, how it was dark in the land for 3 hours. And so many other scriptures to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's God that's in control of the sun and the moon. So there's no one that can definitively say anything in regards to God and what he plans to do, or if there's any plans that's going to take place behind this eclipse. But we do know that the sun and the moon are in the heavens, and they are there for signs. Now, the first eclipse took place back in 2017, and it crossed over 7 states, over 7 cities called Salem. From the top of the northwest across to the bottom of the southeast. And exactly 7 years later, from the bottom of the southwest across to the top of the northeast, crossing over an additional 7 states and 7 cities by the name of Nineveh. Which, by the way, do your due diligence and go look this up for yourself, and you will find this to be true. Now, we know there's no mistakes when it comes to whatever God is doing. There's no coincidences when it comes to whatever God is doing. It's no mistake and no coincidence that the Lord is allowing this eclipse and this path of the eclipse to pass over 7 states and 7 cities named by the same name. First Salem, and now 7 years later, 7 states and 7 cities named Nineveh. Salem means peace. Nineveh is a land that was threatened to be destroyed had they not repented. Could God be saying peace? Repent? Only time will tell. But we do know that the scriptures say a wise man, a prudent man, foreseeth the evil, and he hides himself. By the grace of God, we always hope for the best. But in God's wisdom, he lets us know it's okay to prepare for the worst. We also know that the moon has its effect on the tides and the waters, especially during the time of an eclipse. So again, no one definitively knows what's going to happen. It's all speculation. But we have the scriptures and the divine word to let us know that it's God that is doing this. This is not a date that was thrown out by man. This is not some random day that someone came and said, this is the end of the world. Neither am I saying that the eclipse is the end of the world. But one thing for sure that we know is that the sun and the moon were created by the Creator, and the sun and the moon are controlled by that same Creator. So whatever it is, Godspeed to all the believers. Stay vigilant and watch as well as pray. Peace. God time.